The FEI World Cup 2019-2020 season is now well underway, and in this first edition of the FEI Roundup, we have news from 4 major leagues across 3 disciplines. The third week of October saw the return of the Longines FEI Jumping Western European League in the Norwegian city of Oslo, and it was the 21-year-old Swiss rider Brian Bolziger who stormed to the top of the leaderboard with his first ever World Cup win.
Stops the clock in exactly 40.00 seconds. Brian Bolziger clear in 40 seconds dead with Kluso de Lassis.
The series then moved on to the Finnish capital Helsinki in the home of ice hockey team Helsinki IFK, and it was Brit Robert Whittaker with ice in his veins who took the 20 points for the win after a jump-off time over a second quicker than his nearest rival. The same weekend saw the first leg of the FEI Dressage World Cup Western European League in the Danish city of Herning. The Danes came out to support one of their own and were not disappointed when Catherine Defoe and her ride Bohemian scored a huge 88.19%, only 0.01% off her own personal best.
It's been truly amazing. I mean, today he did everything he could, and you know, it's a quite difficult freestyle. I'm really happy with him. He was slightly low in his neck today compared to yesterday, where I could really keep him in the perfect position all the way through, but I mean, this horse, this guy is only the limit.
Leon was next up with the first treble header of the season and a first chance to see the FEI World Cup drivers in action. 8-time World Cup champion Boyd Excel provided yet another indoor masterclass to get his 2019-2020 campaign off to a flyer. A formidable force in the sport also won the second leg of the FEI World Cup Dressage. Isabelle Wirth and her mount Emilio won their third successive Leon leg to pit the returning Charlotte Dujardin to the top of the podium. And in the third leg of the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Western European League, world number 2 Martin Fuchs and Clooney 51 triumphed for the second year in a row at the Leon Akita to move up into 4th in the league standings.
Yeah, amazing. Clooney was great today. It was a very fast jump up. I wasn't sure if I would be quick enough, but he was just great again.
Maastricht in the Netherlands came next for the FEI World Cup drivers, and once again it was Australian Boyd Excel who threw down the gauntlet. After a stunning drive-off that also featured father and son IJsbrand Chardon and Bram Chardon, Excel's time of 126.35 was just enough to come out on top, beating Chardon Senior by 0.16 of a second. Italy was next on the map in the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup calendar. Verona in northern Italy has hosted a Jumping World Cup leg since 2001, and not many would have been tighter than this. With 16 combinations in the jump-off, it came down to the last to go Scott Brash. He and his mare, Hello Milady, were the only pair to smash the 36-second barrier with a time of 35.55, a performance that pleased the former world number 1.
I thought my mare jumped absolutely unbelievable. I'm delighted with the way she jumped, and it's great to be last to go and get the victory here in Verona.
Across the pond to North America, and an FEI Jumping World Cup season that started all the way back in August. The North American League, split into East and West subdivisions, has 2 prominent leaders as it heads into the winter break. In the Eastern League, 18-year-old Brian Mowgray is taking the US jumping scene by storm with a 7-point lead at the top of the table. He and his 10-year-old gelding, MTM Vive le Rêve, have competed all 5 World Cup legs so far, finishing in the top 10 on 4 occasions and topping it off with this win in Lexington at the beginning of November.
Just in front, and Brian Mowgray and MTM Vive le Rêve could have been even faster.
And in the NEL Western subdivision is the USA's Carl Cook sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboard. His 10-point advantage over second place Ashley Bond comes after 3 top 10 finishes. They include a second spot in New York in September and this win at Sacramento last month.
Has he got it?
Yes, he does it. Oh my goodness, that is how you do it. The win, USA, Carl Cook and Caillou.
And finally back to Europe and the second treble header of the 2019-2020 campaign. The German city of Stuttgart played host to leg 3 of the FEI Driving World Cup, and once again it was that man Boyd Excel who stormed home, taking maximum points. He finished over 5 seconds ahead of American Chester Webber. Excel now has 3 wins from 3, and has all but guaranteed his place at the final in Bordeaux in February. There was some delight for the home crowd as well, however, as German Marieke Harm, in only her 2nd ever World Cup appearance, rounded off the podium places. The German crowd were treated to an even better result in the 3rd leg of the FEI Dressage World Cup, with the top 5 all being from the host nation. And it was Jessica van Bredow-Verndl who took the honours with her mare TSF de Lira BB, with a huge score of 88.44. She beat favourite Isabel Ver and Viagold Old by over 1.2%. And in the 5th leg of the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Western European League, it was Peter de Vos who took top spot after an 11-rider jump-off. The Belgian shaved half a second off the time set by world number 1 Steve Gerdat, and moved up to 2nd in the series standings, 1 place behind the current World Cup champion. Join us again in the new year for the next instalment of the FEI Roundup.